welcome to News and Views on myself, Salalo Makudi. The time is 8:45 Central African time, and we're going to be shifting gears now to our hashtag Africa Focus feature, where we track the most urgent and some of the most often underreported developments from across the continent. Today, we turn our attention to the Democratic Republic of Congo, where a high-stakes diplomatic standoff is currently unfolding. This is a situation that South Africans have a very vested interest in. Our troops are slowly, coming back home from that conflict in that part of the world. Well, there was a United States brokered peace deal between Rwanda and DRC and the M23 forces, but sources close to the negotiations say Washington wants Rwanda to pull its troops out of the eastern Congo before any agreement is signed. At the heart of the issue, well, the presence of Rwandan soldiers allegedly backing the M23 rebel group, billions and billions of dollars in potential Western investments in the DRC. We know it is rich in a lot of minerals, and it's going to be a very, very important global player in the next coming years. And essentially a humanitarian crisis that is displacing thousands and thousands of civilians, and the echoes of that infamous 1994 Rwandan genocide still in a lot of ways shaping the politics of the Great Lakes region to this day. And we're joined by Didier Kabwe. He's a member of the Congolese Solidarity Campaign and a voice of advocacy that has been closely following the regional dynamics and what this deal, or maybe the lack of it, could mean for peace and sovereignty in the Great Lakes. Mr. Kabwe, thank you so much for joining us. I really, really appreciate you giving us your time this morning.
Thank you. Thank you to your viewer too.
The pleasure's all ours. I think let's begin the conversation with the basics. What is the current situation on the ground in the Eastern DRC right now, particularly around areas that are controlled by the M23 rebels, and just Rwanda's posture and stance and how it has changed ever since there was that mediation element by the United States of America?
Thank you for your question. I think on the ground, we can say there is sort of respect of ceasefire, which is not really fully respected. Why? Because recently there was a report of soldiers. Rwandese soldiers coming from Rwanda to the eastern of DRC. So that is a signal of something that is being prepared, and there is some sort of push of resistance somewhere, but in general the situation is calm. Apparently there is a respect of ceasefire. Yes,
I think very, very important points that you're making. The United States of America wants Rwanda to pull out its troops before a peace deal is signed. From your vantage point, how central is Rwanda's military presence, in the ongoing conflict in the DRC, and also how is these news received by the leadership of Rwanda, particularly its President Paul Kagame?
Thank you very much. This is a very important precondition for the deal, and the DRC government always ask for withdrawal of all Rwandese troops before any deal. So on the side of Rwanda, we don't see that move up to now, and this is a crucial condition for any deal in between DRC and Rwanda. We don't know. I'm skeptical. I don't know if Rwanda is going to respect that, because remember, it's going to be in end of this month for the signing of that deal. But up to now, we don't see on the side of Rwanda the willingness of withdrawing all troops from DRC. Contrary to that, we see other movements, other soldiers coming from Rwanda to DRC, so to strengthen their positions. So that is a wondering situation that we see on the ground.
I want to come back to this conversation that always pops up when the issue in the DRC and Rwanda and the M23 rebels is always discussed. Rwanda has repeatedly denied supporting M23 rebels, and they framed their actions as self-defense. But the evidence and reporting, including some of the draft agreements, suggest otherwise. Are we at a point and a place where we can confidently say Kigali and Paul Kagame, Rwanda, they are backing the M23 rebels, and they are using them essentially to push their cause in the DRC?
That is not a doubt anymore, because many reports, international reports, confirm that Rwandan armies are in DRC. So there is no doubt on that, and evidence are there. If there were not that evidence, why should Rwanda accept to negotiate with the DRC? If truly there is no any soldiers, Rwandese soldiers in DRC. So those are just tactics that we know from Rwanda to deny constantly that they don't have troops in DRC. But the evidence are there showing that Rwanda is backing M23, and Rwandese army are in Eastern DRC. So there is no doubt for that. If that was not the case, Rwanda shouldn't go to table of negotiations. Why do they accept to negotiate if really they accept that there is no troops, they don't have troops in DRC? That is not the case.
No, definitely. I wanna, focus, I think, on something that's really, really interesting. As I was reading this draft proposal by the United States of America.
Yes.
The proposal is essentially putting on the table M23's participation in a future national dialogue of some sort, between Rwanda and the DRC. Something at some point would have been unthinkable. I think a few years ago, no one would think, M23 rebels and its leaders will be sitting on the same table with diplomats and presidents. What do you make of this? Doesn't it risk legitimizing armed rebellion, or it is a necessary, step towards lasting peace in the Great Lakes area region?
Yes, at the beginning, the DRC government was categoric. They were refusing to negotiate with rebels. As you know, politics is dynamic, and today there is no way DRC government cannot accept to go to dialogue with M23, and that is one of the precondition to the signing of the deal between Rwanda and DRC. One of the we have the withdrawal of armies, and the government of Kinshasa need to accept to go to the same table with rebels, which Kinshasa government was refusing before. So, for the sake of peace that we are waiting for, and we need to concede some powers, we need to accept consensus. So this is what is happening today. What all belligerent were refusing yesterday, they accepted. They were refusing yesterday, they accepted today. So things are changing, and they need to meet, and Rwanda need to withdraw their troops for
Mm.
that deal to be signed.
Mm, Lastly, I think we can close on that note. For the peace to
Yes.
be signed, what's the latest on that regard? Rwanda's delay tactics, what influences them, and are we at a place where the signing of that U.S. brokered peace agreement is closer to be signed than ever before?
According to the report that we have yesterday, experts met to sign the deal, and probably at the end of this month, government officials will meet to sign finally the deal. But we know with this tactical delay system of Rwanda, we hope
Mm.
that this time it's not going to be the case, but we are doubtful. We know these tactics delay of Rwanda, unless if there is any cohesion from United States of America. We know what Rwanda is capable of.
Mm. I think we're going to leave on that note. That was Didier Kabwe. Thank you so much for joining us. Really, really appreciate you giving us your time. And as the situation unfolds and that peace deal is brokered and signed, I hope we'll chat again just to see if it will be enforced. Because as you mentioned, the ceasefire agreement, I mean, has been put in place, but is not respected to a larger extent by all parties. So it will be interesting to see if this US brokered peace agreement will be respected and there'll be peace ultimately in the Great Lakes region. But we're going to leave it there for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you to you too.
That was Didier Kabwe from the Congolese Solidarity Campaign, helping us unpack the layers behind the critical and fragile moment in the Central Africa and the Great Lakes region. And yeah, I think as South Africans, man, we need to really keep a close eye on this. We have vested interests in the DRC. I think, like any other country in the world, we had troops, South Africans that have lost their lives in the DRC, and for this peace, to essentially come to place, and hope it will be signed. Hope it will be signed, and the lives of South Africans that were lost in that region was not in vain. And yeah, we'll definitely be keeping a close eye on that. The DRC is very close to South Africa, and our government has been heavily invested for the last 20 plus years to that region, and ultimately, peace being found. So yeah, you can join the conversation again on our various social media platforms. You can engage with us at Salam Media, but we're going to take a quick break, and we'll continue after this.